when I was writing Double or Nothing, I'd been commissioned by the Ian Fleming estate, but sworn to secrecy. I couldn't tell anybody that I was writing James Bond, and it was lockdown, so I also couldn't go anywhere, which was probably for the best because I have a terrible poker face, and I think if I'd been seeing all of my friends on a daily basis, I mean, it would have slipped out for sure. But it was lockdown. I couldn't tell anybody. And in lots of ways, that was a blessing in disguise because it meant that I could write in a really contained way, and I could just pretend I was a 12-year-old again playing James Bond in my garden, and that it was all just a dream. And that gave me a lot of freedom. But it also was quite isolating. So fast forward, it's become public knowledge, and Double or Nothing has come out, and I've done all of these events, and I've got to know the amazing James Bond community. That's such a gift with writing book 2, because I could message Matt Spaser at Bond Suits and say to him, what kind of dinner jacket should Dryden wear to this party? Or I could message you and say, what kind of colors do you think for his suit? Little things like that. I could reach out to people and I could ask for advice. Or I could put on Twitter, folks, help me, I'm looking for this particular scene, I can't find it. And everybody would answer. And there's something about being in that community that's so encouraging. And I've never really had before. I've never been a very good joiner of things. So I've always been a massive James Bond fan, obviously, all my life, but I didn't have a community around it. Which maybe, actually thinking about it, I didn't really know any other girls who liked James Bond growing up, and social media wasn't really a thing. Maybe that's the difference. There wasn't anything to join. But now there's this big community, and it's amazing how just welcoming everybody's been and excited, and that made a big difference writing A Spy Like Me, because with Double or Nothing, I felt like I could pretend it was a dream and I could write it for myself, and that in some ways took the pressure off. With A Spy Like Me, when it got tough and I felt like the writing was going not going the way I wanted, or I was feeling worn down, I could think, well, people are really excited that this book is coming out, and write it for them, even if you can't write it for yourself in this moment because you're finding it difficult. And I do feel like that with the release of this book, that it's both for me and my my 12-year-old self playing James Bond in the garden, but it's also for the Bond community, and it has been written with inspiration from the Bond community. So that's a really big difference and feels really special to me.